Okay, I'm gonna try to make this quick. So, when I was 13 years old, I was in a relationship with my mom's ex-husband. He was 27 years old. I was 13 years old, and yeah.
Even when I got home, I wouldn't be able to be fully me because if I was, then I'm going to get hit or I'm going to be verbally abused.
So I'll just ask you the question. Did you really started believing, really believing that you were in a relationship with this person?
Yeah, I thought that I was going to be in a relationship with him for the rest of my life. It was terrifying. It was probably more so towards the end because kind of effect, and I don't know. Hate her if you guys want to, but I'm not hating her.
Welcome back to another episode of All That with Dr. B. I am your host, Dr. Nashiba Barzi, and this is the space where psychology meets law and healing begins. If you are just joining us, if you're just finding us, and if you've been here with us, if you've followed us, if you've seen other episodes, I encourage you to subscribe, to like, comment. Just follow us so you can see more of what we have to offer. This is a safe space. I try to make sure that it's a safe space for anyone, any of my guests to be able to tell their story, express themselves, and just, a place where we can feel safe. And so today we are going to have a guest, our special guest today. You've seen her on TikTok, you've heard her story there, and we're going to have her sit with us today and give us more of her story. Before we get deep into that, I want to mention that today's episode is sponsored by my book, Let Love Be Love, Love After Sexual Trauma. This is a book that tells my story. It talks about my relationship, my experience with sexual trauma. And a lot of times we don't even understand what sexual trauma is. And I had to go through that and I had to, go through that whole process and I was able to identify what that was for me. So if you are interested in finding this book, you can find it on my website, which is www.nashibabazi.com. And that's the only place you can purchase this book at this point. And there's a reason behind that. Again, it's a sensitive topic. It's one that you don't just want to, you want to put it out there, but at the same time, I feel as if it's with such, sensitive topic, I wanted to have a little bit more control of where it goes and the hand it lands in because that topic is triggering. It's one that can evoke so much emotions and pain for people. And so if you have joined us before, you know that I am a licensed psychotherapist and I am also an attorney. So I try to be very cautious with my words. I try to be very cautious with my approach on everything I do, especially when it comes to this space. So that's the same approach I took with putting this book out there. And so if you or someone you know is experiencing some sexual trauma, I this can just be a resource for you. It's I have to tell you, it's raw, it's honest. It's in this book I really went in and talk about what my experiences were with sexual trauma, how I was able to get through that and work through that with the help of my current partner and others in my life. There's a lot that's in it, and at the back of the book, one of the things I love about it is at the back of the book, I actually had another therapist. I did an interview with another therapist who just gave very good, very very good. Shout out to you, Brandon. And Brandon was so helpful in doing this interview with me as another therapist, one who see sexual trauma in his practice, and we were able to just talk about it and be open about it. And as therapists, we delved in and gave some insightful, some tools, and just kind of like, just be honest about what we see in our practice. So again, if you or someone you know has been experiencing sexual trauma or have in the past, and you may be wondering, well, she's telling us this, but what is sexual trauma? So sexual trauma, there's so many people in life who has been, whether you want to call it sexually abused, sexually violated. And this is where I want to stop for a few seconds. And I want to give that warning. Today's episode is heavy. It's heavy because of the topic. It's heavy because it's emotional. It's heavy because I know that what you will be viewing and hearing will possibly evoke some emotions for you. It will put you back in the past. It will cause you to go through your own, those emotions again. It will be a trigger for some of you. And so I want you to sit with me. I want you to take this episode and learn from it. And I also want you to take what may be useful for you and apply it to you if you can relate. However, I must tell you this. Whatever is discussed on this podcast, please do not take it as any clinical advice to you or any legal advice. This is a space again where psychology meets law and healing begins, but it's not a space where I am representing you in as your lawyer or as your therapist. What we discuss here today does not is I'm not giving you any clinical advice or any legal advice. Please use it as psychoeducation. Use it as a resource. You take the pieces that you may resonate with and that may resonate with you and what is helpful for you, but do not hold on to it as if it's, this is my therapy. This is not what that is, and it's not a substitute for therapy. This can be a supplement, and again, I know that it would be one that is going to be very heavy for a lot of people. But I also do know that it's an important topic, one that we do not talk about enough, one that has so much stigma to it, one that is we shy away from because no one wants to talk about when who abused who, and no one wants to hear that, well, you had some influence in me going through this. We don't want to hear that. But at the same time, if we don't have those conversations, we go through life with sexual trauma. We go through life holding on to the past. We go through life trying to figure out what happened. We go through life trying to figure out, well, why my wife can't touch me? Why my husband can't touch me? Why every time it gets to that point, I feel so uncomfortable. And this can cause so much disruptions in relationships. And let me go back to just explaining a little bit more of what sexual trauma is. So, sexual trauma is any physical, emotional, psychological distress that a person may experience as a result of being sexually violated. Now, like I said, I'm not going to, although I want to be very cautious and I am very mindful of the triggering words, I think it's also important for me to name the thing. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to not call, I don't want to not say violated, sexually violated, because that's what it is. So excuse the words. Again, if it's triggering for you, please know that I am very mindful of that, but let's name it. Let's name the thing. And so let's just get into it. My guest for today will share her story. It's her story. It's not my story to tell. So I'll give her the opportunity to tell her story. Like I said earlier, you've seen her on TikTok. You've seen her video on TikTok where she started talking about it. And today we are providing a safe space for her to continue her story and to just tell whatever she wants to tell. So let us all give a warm welcome to Elizabeth Duffy. And throughout the rest of the podcast, I'll refer to her as Liz because that's what she wants to be called, Liz. So let's give a warm welcome. Join me in giving a warm welcome to Elizabeth Duffy.
Hi. I'm Elizabeth or Liz. Definitely prefer that. Thanks for having me on your podcast, and I'm really excited.
Of course.
Kind of.
Thank you so much for coming. And, before we get into it, I want you to know that, like I said, this is your story. This is your truth. It's not mine, it's not anyone else's truth. But I also know that this, like I said, is a sensitive topic.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want you to know that at any time, you can choose to stop.
Okay.
You can choose to tap out and tell me, I don't want to continue anymore. And that would be respected.
Perfect. Thank you.
You can choose to just take a break from it and we can come back, or you can choose to just end it all, depending on what you're feeling.
Okay.
So you can choose a safe word. If you don't want to be like, oh, I want to stop, we can together decide on a word that you would use to let me know.
Maybe like jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Okay, so jellyfish would mean you want to take a break.
Take a break.
Okay, what would be like, I'm done. I don't want to do anymore.
I don't know. Octopus, I guess. I don't know why I see
Jellyfish and octopus. Okay, I'll try to remember those,
Hopefully.
but jellyfish and octopus. I may still look at you and be like, huh? What do you mean, jellyfish? There's no jellyfish. But I will honor that. So just
Okay.
know that you have that option to do that. And if there's anything at all that you would like to say that I didn't touch on, you can choose to share that as well.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And as I've explained to you earlier, because of my professions, my licenses and everything, I want to just say again, I am a mandated reporter.
Yes.
And so we discussed that before. We discussed what that looks like. We discussed about whatever the content may be and what that would mean.
Yeah.
And throughout you telling the story, I will, address it accordingly. But I just wanted to let
Thank
you know
you. Yeah.
that again. So I want you to start wherever you want to start.
Oh.
Wherever you feel like you want to start telling your story, just tell it.
Okay. I wouldn't even know where to start actually. Well, I guess it would be starter. I was in a relationship with my mom's ex-husband for 2 years, from 11 to 13 years old. And honestly, I know that it was not a relationship, but to him and also to my young brain, that's what it was for me. It was a very traumatic ordeal for sure, to say the least. And I just recently wanted to, put it on social media because I went through the legal ways. I went through different police departments and everything, and I got nothing. So I decided to put it on social media to get it out there.
Okay. You've given me a lot to start with, but I'm pretty sure when anyone here, I was in a relationship with my mom's partner,
Yeah.
that sparked some worry, some concern.
It does.
And I know that for you, that must have been a difficult thing for you to have to say.
Yeah.
So my first question then is, What influenced your decision to turn to social media?
The fact that I wasn't getting any help or support when I reached out to the police departments, when I reached
Mm-hmm.
out to family,
Mm-hmm.
and when I reached out just to community, because
Okay.
everyone always says it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
When I reached out to that village, I was not getting any assistance. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed that that man was capable of the monstrosities that I spoke about and what was done to solely me. But there was multiple people that were affected by what he did.
Okay. Share with us what you want us to know about your experience with that.
Um,
And the reason why I'm gonna ask you the question again, but I just want to explain this. I have no questions.
yeah,
I don't have a card with questions on it.
yeah,
I didn't prep you to be like, oh, these are the questions I will ask. And I explained to you why.
hmm,
And there's a reason for that. It's your story.
yeah,
It's not for me to frame your story the way I want it to be told. It's how you want to tell it. I I don't have those questions
yeah,
because I don't want to be like, hey, well, how did you feel about this and how did
yeah,
you feel about that? No, I want you to be able to tell it and then we can work through that. I want to be able to show what that looked like, other than just a scripted, okay, well, I'll ask you this.
hmm,
I want you to have the raw emotions, whatever
yeah,
comes with it, because that's the reality of your life.
hmm.
That's the reality of what you've had to live through. So, yeah.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
So I think we were trying to let me take a deep breath if you're
Yeah.
if you're starting to feel, at any time, like I say, you can just choose to. Do you want us to do some deep breaths right now, or
No,
you're
I'm
okay?
good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So let me we talked you answered what influenced your decision, but I think one thing that I want to touch on before we go further is I heard you say when I reached out to that village, no one
Mm.
believed me.
Hmm.
What were you told then?
A lot of people were. I when I was younger, I felt like it was more so they were shocked.
Okay.
They just didn't want to believe that someone that they um, were friends with or someone that they were romantic with, because he was also a cheater. They couldn't believe that someone like that close to them did something as evil as he has done.
Okay.
And when I told other people, it was like swept under the rug. Like it was more so, well, don't tell anybody else. But like, I mean, uh, like it was no help. It was
Mm-hmm.
no assistance. It was nothing.
Okay.
I've been left to deal with this trauma by myself for years.
Okay.
I've tried therapy. I've tried so many things, and it just always comes back to here. If I get into a romantic relationship, platonic relationships, any other, even work relationships, I think that all of my life is affected by what he did to me.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about, and you said what had happened, but what is that thing that happened?
He sexually, mentally, physically, emotionally abused me for several years. It really truly was like I was in a relationship with him, and that was my introduction into romantic relationships. I don't really have a stable or anyone, even for myself, to look at as what a healthy relationship is. That is all that I know. That
Okay.
really is. He groomed me from 10 to 11, and then he officially, started to molest me when I was 11 years old. And it wasn't until about a year of him sexually assaulting me, or raping me, honestly, that's what it was, that he then said that I was his wife and his girlfriend, that we were together.
Okay.
And he made it to where, like, I was crippled by the fact that I was in a relationship with my mom's husband. So
Okay.
that was shame, and that he used against me so that I wouldn't feel confident enough to be able to tell my mom, because I did feel ashamed.
Okay.
I was basically in in my young brain, I was my dad's side chick.
Okay.
And it is traumatizing, and it was something that I just was like, how do I deal with this? And the only way that I knew how to do it is just be a good side chick. Don't let anybody find out.
Okay. That's a lot to unpack
Yeah.
for anyone, but at such a young age. What did you said that he groomed you from about 10 years old?
Yeah.
What did what did that look like, grooming?
I feel it looks different from everybody, but me specifically.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that that's what it was until honestly I started sharing my story on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But there were certain things that he would do that he with me that he just wouldn't do with my siblings.
Okay.
Like he would take me separate, like take me out to go get ice cream or to go be with him alone by myself to in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, it's just a father taking care of his kid and he wants some alone time with her. But looking back now, he was just trying to make me feel comfortable with him so that I won't be so shocked when he presents the, oh, you're my wife, you're my girlfriend. There were like small touches that he would do, like my back or like just playfully playing with me or we're fighting or anything, roughhousing, and he would touch my breast or my butt or something, and it's not looked at as bad because like we're just playing. That's it. It's not a big deal, and he would like have conversations with me about my mom, like, oh, she made me so upset. I'm so mad today because this is what your mom did, and now I have this negative connotation. I have this negative view of my mom because why are you making my dad mad? Why are you
Yeah.
doing that? But again, I didn't know that that's what was going on. I just thought it was my dad, trying to be a dad. That's what I thought.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Now, you said something very heavy. You said, I just had to be a good side chick.
yeah.
At such a young age, what came to you? How did you take that as you're my girlfriend, you're my wife, you're my side chick?
I did not want that at all. That was something that I despise and something that I still feel like I kind of work through now as an
Mm-hmm.
adult. Um, it was something that I learned for sure. As
Yeah.
someone, I'm the oldest girl of all of my siblings,
Okay.
so I feel like I have that kind of maternal instinct to take care
Mm-hmm.
of and be a part of and make sure
Yeah.
everyone is good. And I think that was one of the reasons that he preyed on me because he already saw that.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I just didn't want to hurt my mom mostly because
Yeah.
like she was already going through it as is. She was
Yeah.
already being physically abused by him. He was beating her any chance that he got.
Okay.
And I just knew like if I add more, that's just gonna make everything worse. And if I open up this freaking chest of insanity, it's just gonna
Mm-hmm.
be worse for her. So I just tried to protect her as much as I could while also making sure that I kind of preserve myself because everyone always talks
Mm-hmm.
about fight or flight, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
even know if I have either of those anymore. I think it's like a fawn. Like I just like even right now, like I'm not happy at all,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I smile or anything when I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable because that's way better than I don't know, I guess fully addressing full those emotions.
What's going on,
Yeah.
the trauma. Now, you did say trauma. So, what does that trauma look like and feel like for you?
It's heavy. It feels really, really heavy. So heavy. A lot of times I really turn to alcohol to just for everything be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's always something in my mind. I'm so anxious all the time.
Yeah.
Like trying to address or deal with trauma is like, oh my god, why is it so exhausting? It's exhausting. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired all the time. Even if I got a good 8 hours of sleep 7 days a week, I still feel exhausted.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll always feel like that. Hopefully I don't, but I'm always exhausted.
Okay. So that's one thing I've heard, exhaustion. And you said anxious. You
Yeah.
feel anxious.
Yeah, I have a lot of anxiety, and just I don't know, I guess it's the way that I carry myself. Everyone always says, I wouldn't know you went through that. But like I don't want to look like what I've been through either.
Yeah.
Cuz that would be horrible.
Yeah.
It would not be great. But I don't know what I can really do. I don't want to always look like a wounded deer.
Yeah.
I You got to keep moving forward. It already happened.
Okay. Let's. I I don't want to take you back there, but I feel like in order for me to get you out of there
Yeah.
to continue moving forward, I have to take you back there just
Okay.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
A little girl, 10, 11, 12, 13, and you have to carry such burden of being the partner of a person you looked up to. I've heard you mention your dad,
Yeah, that was basically who he was. Even though he wasn't my biological father, thank God. I think that would have been a whole different thing. That's who he was. That's who I looked at him as. He was with my mom for many years, and what from when I was 2 years old. That's all I knew. That was the only father figure that I knew. So it was really, it, it was crippling to realize that that I look at myself as a strong person,
Yeah.
and even then I felt like I was a strong person. I was kind of more disappointed with myself and mad at myself because I allowed it to happen. And I know I was a kid, but it still didn't take away from the fact that that shit sucked, and I really had no control of any of it. It was just I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know what I expected myself to do,
Yeah.
but I wanted me to fight harder, I guess. Oh, thank you.
He wanted
Um
you to fight harder.
yeah, because I don't know. I wish I could go back and I don't know, see what I could have done differently so that he wouldn't have chose me, but also I feel better that it was me and nobody else, because I don't know if I'll be able to live with one of my siblings going through what I went through, because
That's
it's not fair. It wasn't fair for me either, but it was better that it was me, because
that's a
I don't have
heavy
to.
burden, Liz. A
Yeah.
heavy burden. I want to pause here for a second, and I want to check in with you. Tell me what you're feeling right now. What is going on?
Talking about it really makes me realize how young I was.
Mm-hmm.
I have custody of two of my nieces, and to think that one of them will go through something like what I went through, I wouldn't want that for them
Yeah.
at all. I didn't want that for myself, but it happened. I just wouldn't. I couldn't see anybody else going through that. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like everything that happened, it just. I was young. I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel emotionally safe to continue? Would you
Yeah.
like a break?
No, it's okay.
Okay. As you were telling your story, and I can hear you say, I was a kid, but most importantly, what stuck out to me is you feeling as if it was your fault. You feel explaining and expressing what else could I have done as a kid? But like you said, you were a kid. It was not your responsibility to protect you from the outside world. At that point, and this is not blaming, we're not going to put blame on anyone.
Yeah.
We're just looking at the reality of what happened. The reality of this child, this 10-year-old child, having to carry such a burden of feeling like, well, I'm happy that it was me because I couldn't stand to see one of my other siblings go through this. That's I want to acknowledge right now the heaviness of that. And I could only imagine what you have had to carry through your life up until this point. And I know that there are viewers, there are listeners, and kids who are 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
What can you say to help them understand what that looks like for a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12, 13-year-old having to go through such an experience?
I don't even know, honestly. Um, I feel like I kind of push a lot of what I went through
Mm-hmm.
to the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't, a lot of times, I can't really see little me. I just see me because I waited so long to just be older so that I could be stronger and more brave or more solid of a individual. So I wouldn't be able to tell them what it looked like because I don't know exactly what it looks like. It just looked like masking, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I got home, I wouldn't be able to be fully me because if I was, then I'm going to get hit or I'm going to be verbally abused or I'm going to be, I don't know. I
Okay.
just feel like I was a, like, the NPCs, the background characters,
Mm-hmm.
so that if I was quiet enough or if I just stayed in line, I'll be cool.
I want to take a minute just to talk to the viewers, the listeners. Here is a young woman who has had to live through such trauma for many years. And she just said, I waited until I was older to be stronger. I waited until I was older to be stronger. This is those are some strong words. This is a young woman who is saying, I recognized back then that I was powerless as a child. But I thought that once I became older, I could do more for myself. I could revisit it and I wouldn't break down. I would be emotionally stronger. Is that the case right now? Or do you
100%.
feel emotionally stronger?
No, not at all. Um, I thought like I would have all the answers once I got older. And I guess it's more hurtful or devastating that I don't. But I guess that's what everyone says. You got to put in the work. You got to do all of the, you know, go back and see where everything went wrong. But it was such an early time that everything went wrong. So it's hard to backtrack so many years. And it's hard to, when I kind of don't, like, I remember, but I don't remember everything. It's like some parts of what I went through was deleted. And while that's helpful because I don't want to relive that all the time, it does suck because I could just be walking in the store and I smell someone's perfume or see something and I'm reminded like, remember what you went through?
Yeah.
It's a like specific. It's for me. It smells.
Yeah.
I will smell certain things. At some point, my family was moving like every year, once a year, and there's Gardena. It has a smell, and I can smell it, and I will know it. I will go right back to what everything was going on right there. We went from Gardena to San Pedro to Compton, and it was a lot. It was so many smells that I remember, and there's certain perfumes or anything that I can't even wear.
Because it brings you back to that time.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing. Those are the triggers we talk about when someone say, "Oh, you trigger me." This, what she just explained, is an example of those triggers. That smell. For her, it's that smell. For others, it could be a sound. It could be anything. And so although we may not always be mindful of those or aware, this right here is just an example of those triggers. You mentioned going, moving to all these different areas. So I don't want to say exactly where we are right now for safety reasons, but being remotely close, did you have any triggers as you were coming here today?
Yeah, for sure. I always
Okay.
get anxious when I come to this area,
Okay.
just because of the life that I know that I live,
Mm-hmm.
and not because of the person per se, but
Yeah.
just because it's like I see a, a shadow of myself, or I get
Mm.
another glimpse of myself. And like I said, like I would like to remember so that I can work through it,
Yeah.
but also when it's something that just like, like you said, a trigger,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm not ready for that.
You just want it to go
Let's
away.
just go
Just
back,
get that. Okay. Go
get
back
back to
where.
where you were.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and I know I probably confused my brain, because sometimes I want to remember everything
Mm.
so I could move past it. But then I start remembering, and I'm like, just kidding.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't want
You
that.
don't want to.
Uh, yeah.
Let me validate for you right now that that's all within the process of healing from trauma, working through trauma. There'll be things you forget. There'll be things you may remember today, and tomorrow you don't remember it.
Yeah.
And that could be because, you push that, like we talked about, pushing all of that back, way back there in your memory bank, and you don't want to access that. So sometimes that may come off to others as you not being truthful.
Yeah.
But it is really a part of the struggle that you go through with sexual trauma or any trauma. It takes your memory. Sometimes that's the cloudiness we talk about. It's cloudy in there. You don't know what's going on. You don't remember, or you think, okay, have you ever had to question yourself? Wait, did that really happen?
Yes.
Okay.
Often, too often. Absolutely. And it didn't help that the man that was abusing me, he would do things to where I wouldn't even believe myself. Like even
Mm,
sharing my story on TikTok,
yeah.
I'm saying the things because I lived through it. That was me. That did happen, which is what I try to remind myself. But he would do things that will undermine and make me question myself. So I become so confused, and I'm like, did that happen? Or even my dreams are really vivid. Like I
Okay.
can remember a lot of my dreams. And sometimes I ask myself, did that happen, or was that a dream?
Mm-hmm.
Because even with daydreaming too, I tried to get away from my actual, like, what's going on. So I find
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
daydreaming a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, did I make that up? Did
Mm.
that happen? But unfortunately, a lot of it did happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that, like, that is the truth.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a very important part of it that I think people overlook, where you question yourself, like,
Yeah.
wait, did that really happen? Or am I making this up? And sometimes it's like you've been told so many times that, or you've been groomed, and now you're believing that, no, I am supposed to be this person
Mm-hmm.
to him or to her. I'm supposed to do this. This is part of what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So you start internalizing that and believing that that's part of what your life should be. So now you know something is not right, and so you question, wait, was that reality?
Mm-hmm.
Or was that a dream? Was that, and I could imagine that's just not a good feeling.
At all. I even putting my shoes on this morning,
Mm-hmm.
I question so much about myself now that it actually gets frustrating, because it's like, how long am I going to continue to question myself or be confused about what I want to do? Like I always feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Mm.
In the workplace, at home, like anytime someone calls my name or anything, that's why I have different names for different settings, so that I will feel comfortable in that setting. Like,
Interesting.
I know you're gonna say this name right now, so that means I'm not in trouble. We're good. We're cool. So it's a
Mm.
really, like,
Very
a
interesting.
difficult thing that I've been trying to, you know, what is it, compartmentalize? I don't know how
Yes.
to say that. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I give different names for different settings so that I know, like, if you're saying this name, we're cool, but if you say a different one, what's going on? What did I do wrong? How do I fix it right now? Like, I need it to be done.
Interesting. Now, if you're okay with it, let's go into let's touch, stay on that for a little bit. I asked you, what is your name? What is
Yeah.
your full name? You gave me your name. You
Yeah.
said, my name is Elizabeth Duffy, but call me Liz,
Yeah.
or there was another name,
Marie.
or Marie. So, why did you want me to call you Liz in this space?
I feel comfortable,
Okay.
and Liz is just what my family calls me.
Okay.
And I know that if you're saying Liz, I'm cool. Everything's calm.
Feels-
We're right now.
We're family.
But like if I'm out, like if I am out in a party at the club or anywhere else, everyone, my name is Marie. Even on Instagram, my name is Marie.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that only know me by Marie, and I do that on purpose because that's who I am to you, Marie.
Yeah.
And I also feel like I am a different, in a way, I am different when I use those names. When I am Marie, I'm very like confident, overly confident. But
Okay.
when I'm Liz, I'm just Liz. I'm just cool. I'm Liz. Or even if one, like, some people just know me by my last name, Duffy. That's okay. That's more like high school though. But like Duffy, yes, you do
Yes.
know. Oh, wow, you know that version of me. There's like so many. I just have different aliases, and
Okay.
even with Liz, at some point I put two Z's. Some people only know me by two Z's.
Disease. Okay. So at this point, I know you're Liz to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to be Liz to the people who are listening and viewing?
No.
Okay. So who should we present to the viewers and the listeners?
Definitely Marie.
Marie.
But that's just because like I it's like a extra barrier.
Okay.
Because even there's someone who knew me by Marie for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Then they found out my real name and they were so upset with me, and I was like, why are you mad at me? You never asked me my actual name.
Okay.
But it was just, that was my name. That, I mean, it's not like I'm lying. It is my name. It's on my birth
Yeah.
certificate, but
Yeah.
that's who I am to them.
So this we're laughing about it, but it's a psychological thing behind it, and that's
Yeah.
why I asked you that question. And so I'm going to ask you another question just to take it a little bit further. Why do you want to be called or known as Marie to the viewers and listeners? You did say it's an extra barrier.
Yeah.
Do you mind helping us all understand
Yeah.
as much as you are comfortable?
Yeah.
sharing?
I say extra barrier because they don't know me. They probably won't ever know me, and they probably wouldn't
Yeah.
care to know me either.
Okay.
So Marie is just more so a persona, I guess. Because who are they for real?
Yeah.
Who it is, like, I'm someone that they'll watch,
Okay.
but not someone that they'll actually care for or get the time to know. Even like at work, a lot of people don't know my actual name
Okay.
for a long time because what would you do with that information anyway? You're not gonna, you don't care about me. I think about that, like a lot of outside people. I think nobody really cares. Nobody's going to care for real. That's my name, Marie. That's it. If you actually will care to know or want to know, then you'll get to know Liz. But even then, you have the name. Then what? You don't have my personality.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to give people the opportunity to take more away from me.
Okay. I'm curious to know though. Why Liz to me?
Because you like, you have, like, I don't know how to explain it, but in the first like milliseconds of meeting people, I get like vibes,
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
And when I met you, I didn't get deceit. I didn't feel like you were deceiving or
Okay.
being deceiving. So I felt comfortable to be able to share that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for being open, honest.
Of
Because I
course.
don't think a lot of people are like that anymore. And that's my problem too. I always just try to see the good in people, but I do have in the back of my mind that I don't know if any people are really good people. And when I can feel that, and when I can see that someone is a good person, I try my best to keep them in my life, because that's very rare right now.
Yeah.
Very, very rare.
Yeah. And when you, as you're saying that, I'm hearing, or in my head, I'm hearing hypervigilant. I'm
Yeah.
hearing, it's hard for me to trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, but it's confusing. Like, sometimes it confuses me because, like, the thing that I do is I 100% trust people until one tiny thing.
Okay.
And I get that one small thing, that's it. And it could be very early on, or it could be later in the friendship, relationship, whatever. But now you already gave me that seed of doubt, and there's nothing that, and I hate that about myself too, because there's nothing that I can do to undo it now.
Yeah.
Because why did you make me feel like I can't trust you? Now you're just a liar. You lied. You lied, or you were deceitful, or you weren't. Like, something is off about you now. I can't
Okay.
go back on it.
Okay. Now, I remember when I first reached out to you, one of my questions to you, I was curious to know,
Yeah.
why did you turn to social media? And I mentioned this in the beginning of,
Yeah.
once we started, but I want to get into that a little deeper. Now, social media is where, thousands of people will say this, and
Yeah.
people will have their, people will comment, and they have their opinions, and they, like you said, they don't know you, but you turn to social media to tell such sensitive story about you.
My goal was to have my story heard. That was my number one goal.
Want it to be heard.
Honestly, though, I didn't think anybody was going to listen. I didn't think I would get the influx of comments and shares and everything that I got.
Okay.
But once I realized it was there,
Yeah.
my full focus was to let everyone know that crazy shit like this does happen. One. And two, I reached out to police departments. I've reached out to detectives, to 3 different ones actually, and I got nothing.
Okay.
I don't feel comfortable talking to my mom because I know that it hurts her. And I know that just because I'm ready to talk about it doesn't mean she's ready to talk about it.
Very good point.
I didn't want to talk to my friends about it because everyone sees me as happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody, even though I feel like I am weak, I don't want anybody to look at me as that. Okay. And I feel like when I share that story directly with someone face to face, then they get to see that part of me. But when I was sharing it on social media, it's just empty faces.
Yeah.
It wasn't even social media. In my mind, I feel like I just shared it with my camera and I posted it.
Yeah. Shared it with the camera.
Yeah.
So at that point, your camera was your safe space.
Yeah.
Not the audience you ended up getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just happened to be, thankfully, more support than negativity, because there was negative comments on there, and it was like, how could you do that to your mom? Or people were saying that I was dumb, that's not a relationship. Like, I know that wasn't a relationship. But it also was my introduction to romance, though.
A very good point, but I think it's important to point out right here, it's not that you really truly thought, well, this is a relationship with my mom's husband.
Yeah.
You were made, it's almost like the grooming again, you were a kid, what you were told. You had no other influence. That was what you were experiencing. And so for you, it's like, I know this is not my partner, my person, but it feels like it.
It really did feel like that at times, and I know there were like certain points where I was so, I'm gonna say, lost in the sauce. I
Yeah.
was so lost in it that it
Lost in
really
the sauce.
really did feel like a relationship. Like I
Okay.
would be scared to talk to like kids my age because I'm thinking, oh, he's going to be mad that I'm cheating on him. It felt like I was in a relationship to where I didn't even want to talk to like teachers or anything because I felt like if he looks at me as a romantic interest, then maybe if I'm talking to them, they'll think the same thing. So it was really scary for me to really like talk to anyone because I didn't know if they will also start feeling the same way as him. I don't, even with like holding eye contact and stuff too. I can't do that very well.
Look at me. Look at me.
I try. Like I can't do that too well because he will use that as like a way to say if I look at a man in his eyes that I'm saying that I want to be with him. So it made me just not look at anybody in their eyes, and I'm barely learning right now that I can look at people in their eyes. It's not a sign of trying to flirt, but
Yes,
that's
you
what he
can.
would tell me. He would do small things like he tricked me into telling him that I was interested or I liked a kid my age. Well, I was 12, 13. I
Yeah.
was 13. He tricked me into saying, "Oh, if you ever like someone your age, you know, you already have the tools. You already know what to do. If he wants to have sex, then go ahead and you go have sex with him. You already know what to do. But just tell me first so that we can decide what we have to do. Decide if he really wants to be with you or if he just wants to have sex with you." And I'm just like, that don't make sense, but okay. And me, I was a kid. I thought he really was there to like support
Yeah.
me through, things. And I told him, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in this one boy in my school," and he made a whole horrible thing happen for me. And he like broke me down mentally because I told him that I like someone my age. And he was 28 at that time. And I'm just like confused, one, because you just told me if I like someone to tell you
Yeah.
to be honest, because we're in a relationship, we need honest communication. And two, this is someone that's actually my age, and now you're mad at me because of that. And it was just like a frustrating feeling because it's like beyond frustration. I was confused. I didn't understand. Like that's why it's hard for me to trust people too, because like sometimes people say things that everyone always says go based off of what someone says. You can't, because they're liars.
Okay.
Not everybody, but like
Yeah.
people don't tell the truth.
Don't tell the truth. I think it's we started talking about it, and I started going into explaining it from a psychological standpoint, but I pulled back because again, it's not for me to intervene or interject. It's your story.
Yeah.
It's your truth. So I'll just go back to it so we can kind of like, talk about it a little bit more. So I'll just ask you the question. Did you really started really believing that you were in a relationship with this person?
Yeah, I thought that I was going to be in a relationship with him for the rest of my life. It was terrifying. It was probably more so towards the end because, like, something that people say or say over and over again, your mom knew, your mom knew. After the really like the incident of him saying that I like someone my age, he made a whole debacle, a huge thing. My mom did ask me afterwards, after everything
Okay.
was settled. She asked me, did he touch me in any way inappropriately? And I lied to her. I said no,
You told
because
your
I
mom
was
no.
shameful. I was ashamed because one, I was the side chick, and two, I didn't know what would happen. I tell you yes, then what? You gonna still stay or what? So I told her no. But 3 months after that, we were gone. She got us out of there.
Okay.
So,
Before we go there,
yeah.
let let's just stay on this a bit.
If I thought I was in a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The side chick though.
Yeah.
I hear you say that over and over.
Yeah.
The side chick. I was the side chick.
That's
what made you the side chick?
The fact that obviously he was married. They were married.
Okay.
They were married to each other, and to my knowledge, like to my kid brain, if you're married to somebody, you're not supposed to have any like outer marital relationships.
Okay.
So what he said to me when he initiated everything was, you can't tell your mom. Immediately, I want to tell my mom. You just told me not to tell her. I'm about to go tell her. What the heck?
Oh, okay.
But adding on to that, he said, if I do tell her, that she's going to be mad at me because because I'm cheating. Like, he's cheating on her with me.
Okay.
So then that, like, put a pin in telling her, one. And then two, he would do things like he would, tell my mom, pick up an extra shift. And in that time that she's picking up an extra shift, he's taking me out to Universal Studios, to City Walk, to the movies, and all of these separate things. Like, those are dates. So I was like, I was a side piece. Like, that's what I saw it as, and it made me ashamed to tell her, because now I'm going along with it, not realizing, like, but I really had no choice to not go along with it, because he didn't immediately just start raping me. He didn't immediately just start hitting me. He didn't immediately do that. Everything was like nice. It was fine. Like I said, he would take me out separately to go get ice cream, to go to these separate places.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we moved into our house that he raped me for the first time. And I didn't even know what to do. I don't like people standing behind me anymore because of what he did to me. He took me to that basement and he said, oh yeah, take the clothes from the washer, put them in the dryer. And he's standing behind me, and I'm like, whatever. I don't know what to do with that, because I'm the side chick already. We just haven't had sex yet in his mind, or my kid mind. And I feel like that, when he first me, made it official. And when that happened, it was already too late for me to talk about it. In a sense, I felt like I let it happen, because maybe if I would have said something before on the dates or anything, he wouldn't have had a chance to do that. But it was already too late, because he took more innocence away from me, and he took what I was trying to hold on to. It was gone. Now I felt like, not only did I feel dirty, but I felt like a bad person. Like, you're fucking your mom's husband.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. That's exactly how I felt. And I didn't know how to now go and tell her, hey, I went on dates with your husband, and also now we're fucking each other. Is that so? I felt like that was, I mean, what other way to say that? Because I felt like I was the bad person, because that's what he made me feel like.
Yeah.
He would, even while he would sexually violate me, he would say evil things to me, that I'm a piece of shit, that I'm disgusting, that like, why would I ever think that anyone else will love me except for him, while he's doing that to me. So now I have a horrible relationship with sex, and I think I'm nasty. So it was like all of that he was doing and saying, like, it just like amplified the fact that I was a side chick.
Do you have a therapist?
I do now, actually. Since I shared my story, shout out to you. Since I shared my story, they reached out to me and they offered their services to me. And at first I was going to decline, because I was like, no, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that, like, help. But
you deserve all the help.
Thank you. I spoke to my friend about it, and I spoke to my mom about it too. And they both told me to take the help. So I reached back out to them like a couple days after they reached out, and I was like, okay, I want to move forward with this. So I actually have been going for like 3-4 weeks now, and it's been really great. And they're telling me it's not always going to be great, and it's not. I know it's not.
Oh, no.
But I'm glad to go down this road and on this journey
Let me
for
s-
sure.
let me second that. You're going to have, it's going to be rough. It's going to be good days and bad days.
Yeah.
You're going to have this podcast shows we have moments where we laugh, we have
Yeah.
moments where we cry. It's going to take a lot of work to work through that trauma that
Yeah.
you were left with. And shout out to you therapists,
Yes,
who
thank
whoever
you.
you are, who
Thank
reached
you.
out and now have offered your services to her, and I heard free.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate you for that. So now that you're engaged in therapy, you said that's helping.
Yes, I really do feel like it is helping. But I know, again, there's going to be bad days and good days.
Bad days.
I've been having really good days.
Good,
So we're good.
good, good. So throughout the podcast, you've talked and you telling your story. Your mom has come up,
Yes.
and you told us about why you were hesitant to tell your mom.
Yeah.
Was was there ever a time where you felt like it doesn't matter what he say, it doesn't matter what anyone said, I need to tell my mom?
Absolutely. There was some, and I really, it makes me want to just punch little me sometimes. But it's often I feel like I should have just said something. I could have just, well, not could have, but I should have just said something, and I didn't. Because when I did eventually tell her, which was at 16 years old, I didn't tell her in depth everything, but I did like confirm what she asked me, 3 years before that. And and the way that she took it, like she embraced me, like she gave me a hug, and she said sorry, and she started crying.
Okay.
And I felt so bad because I should have just said something before, and I didn't. I just didn't, and it was just a lot of like mental things that were going on at the time that everything was actually happening that stopped me, which I always like try to give myself grace on that, but it pisses me off that I didn't say anything, especially with the fact that one, she believed me, and two, she like offered the support that she was able to provide. Everybody always just assumes, well, you told your mom she should have did this, she should have did that, she should have did this, she should have did that. But it wasn't about what she should have did, it's what she did do. She offered me the support that I needed at that time. What I needed at that time, when I told her immediately, was for her to believe me, and for
Okay.
her to, I really just wanted her to believe me, for real.
Yeah. And she did that.
And she did. And then it was like years down the line where, okay, now I need your support in going to go tell the police. Okay, now I need your support in telling me why, or explaining to me why you stayed so long. I didn't need that. I didn't need those answers, and I didn't need that type of support when I first initially told her.
Okay.
But throughout every level, all the years of like from then to now, I'm 27 years old, like she's provided me the support that she's able to provide, because a lot of people don't realize that I was not the only person being abused. She, although she was
Your
married
mom
to him,
was?
my mom was
Okay.
getting raped by him as well. She was getting physically abused by him, verbally abused by him. He would like allow her to go to sleep, and I say allow because he literally would allow her to go to sleep, and then right when she's in deep sleep, he would yell her name or her awake or something. I wasn't the only one that was going through things, so that was also what was holding me back, because I'm like, I don't want to add more to her plate. Her plate is already full.
Okay.
But it's still, sometimes I do get frustrated that I didn't say anything earlier, because maybe everybody could have had a less trauma
Yeah.
if I would have spoke up, because from even me lying to her, obviously she real well, I don't know if she knew or not, whatever suspicion.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was just like a suspicion for her, obviously. And she asked me, I said no. 3 months later, we were gone.
You were gone. Okay.
That she didn't even have a real answer until 3 years after
Yes.
that.
So I want to continue on that topic for a bit, but I don't want you to just, I don't want to not acknowledge what I heard. You said sometimes you want to go back and punch that little girl.
Yeah.
So, may I touch you?
Yeah.
I want to extend my hand to you and I want to hold your hand. I want to hold that little girl that little girl back there that you felt like you want to go back and touch and punch. That little girl was a little girl.
Yeah.
Give her grace. Okay?
Try my best.
So
I do.
now, your mom. You said that, my mom was basically in the same situation, and you carried that burden again. Like, I have to be the one to save me, save my mom, save this family. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
So you felt as if I don't put more on her plate, if I don't tell her that I am being abused sexually, physically, emotionally, verbally, then if I don't tell her that, then that would be helping her.
Yeah. And I like that thought process makes me realize how young I was.
Mm-hmm.
And then it makes me sad because I'm like, I was a kid. Again,
Yeah.
I was a kid. But I just wish I wish I would have spoke up earlier, for real.
Let me ask you a fair question. What do you believe would have happened if you had spoken up earlier as a kid?
I feel like, I believe that she would have got us away sooner.
Okay.
Because I think for her, like her thing was, well, he's only hitting me.
Mm,
He's only doing this to me.
okay.
So I don't think and I hate to say this, but I don't think that she loved herself enough to leave for her. But I know that she loved us enough to leave for us. And that's adult mind thinking. But at the time, it just seemed like she cared more about us than her. And she cared more about like the image, because my grandparents, they're Jehovah's Witness, grew up Jehovah's Witness, and it was just a lot of like, I feel like a religion played a part in it, because they're like, now you need to get married and you need to stay with that husband, and there's no like, me and your dad have been together for 36 years now. Why would you leave him just because it's bad right now? It will get better later on. It's what they were embedded in her over and over and over again. So I feel like in a way she felt like she was a failure if she left him because of herself.
Okay.
But if she left him, which she did, when she left him for our sake, it was different.
It was different. Okay, so you're saying, I think what I'm hearing is that mom had her own struggles,
Yeah.
had her own trauma that she was dealing with,
Yeah.
and but her strength came from the love she had for her kids,
Yeah.
meaning you and your siblings. So although you thought then, you know what, I don't want to put more on her, I don't want to, what you're saying is that you do now realize that mom would have left for us.
She would have left for us. And it's a horrible realization, like, now that I'm older,
Yeah.
because I could have I should have said something then, but I just didn't know until I got older. And that's the thing about being in a relationship with a fucking 12-year-old. My frontal lobe was not developed. I couldn't
That's
think
true.
beyond, even now, I think probably until I was like 24, I did not think about years ahead. I only thought about one day ahead.
Yeah.
I never thought that there would be a tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised for real. But that's just what I developed, because even then, like at that age, there was times where I was like, maybe I don't want to wake up tomorrow, and that would be okay with that. And I just didn't think of anything outside of that house, outside of him. I truly thought, like, when I was around like 12 and a half, 13, I thought, okay, I'm going to be with him for the rest of my life. So I should probably start looking for ways to just enjoy it. There will be times, like, I would know, like, if he's taking me out, to City Walk or somewhere, if he's taking me out to go have fun, he's about to do something fucked up when we get home. So
Okay.
I would just really enjoy like being out. I will have as much fun as I can because I know once we get back home, you're about to sodomize me, or you're about to mm, like you're gonna do something horrible. Like there, he is a horrible person. I wish he never mind, but I do hope that his life is not great right now. And maybe it is, but hopefully karma gets him. Everyone always talks about that. Yeah, there's just the I just think the worst part about him is the fact that he doesn't think that he did anything wrong.
Mm.
He truly looks at what he put me through as a bad relationship for him.
Have you had an opportunity to talk to him about it?
Only about 1 year, and this was when we still had the restraining order against him.
Okay.
1 year after the restraining order was official, he messaged me and he like sent me like a paragraph like that big, and he was saying that my beautiful wife, I hope that you miss me, and I hope that you miss me like I miss you, and maybe in the future we could work things out so that we don't so that it's not like a bad light or whatever. And I never responded to it because I was still like young. I was 14, 15, and I'm like I just read it and I realized like he truly felt that was just a real life bad relationship for him. But for me, that was traumatic. And he really truly he thought to himself or thinks to himself to this day that I was just a cheater, that I just cheated on him.
Oh.
And that's why the relationship ended.
Oh.
Not because I was a child and he was abusing me that the relationship ended.
Was CPS ever involved in this case with your family regarding this?
Towards the end, CPS was involved because my mom reached out to DCFS and asked them for a plan of action to get away from him. The worker that she spoke with provided her with resources for money, for a home, for like a way of transportation, so that we can get away from him. And that's what ultimately determined us getting away. So thank God for that.
Okay. So shout out to that social worker.
Yes, thank you.
So the social worker provided your mom with some resources. And
Yeah.
did your mom follow?
She followed through with each and every last one of them. We were able to get housing from that plan that she provided. We were able, my mom didn't have a car because he got her car towed because he didn't want her to be mobile. So she was able to get a vehicle from that, and she was able to get, we were working with a foundation, Dream Center, and they provided food for us for about a year after everything that happened because she was being financially abused too. He took all of her money.
So there are parts that you guys don't get to see. And so we took a break. We took a brief, a short break, so we can just to address Liz's emotional state. But she wants to continue. She wants to continue telling her story. So if it seems as if we are revisiting some stuff that we talked about before, that's because, like I said, we had to take a break. And as I told Liz in the beginning, and I promise, if it ever comes to a point where you feel like it's a lot and you just want to stop, you just want to take a break, she took advantage of that and she took a break. And so now we're back. And I believe that we left off, talking about the financial situation that her mom was experiencing, and how they got taken out of the home by CPS. And I know it's called different things around the country, but CPS is more known to people, so I say CPS. But you would hear Liz refer to it as something else. And so we're going to pick back up from there where we left off. And so Liz, you talked about your mom being in that abusive situation, and tell us again, how did you and your siblings, get out of that situation? Why were you taken out of the home by CPS?
Yeah. Initially, one of the first reasons that CPS was in our life was because he took all of the money from her and decided to tell her that if you don't go inside of the store and steal, that you're gonna come out. When you come out, I'm gonna beat you up again. Because he initially, she had the money, he beat her up by the restroom that was inside of the store that we were in.
Okay.
And then he took the money, went to the car. She followed him to the car, and he beat her up again and said, "Go back inside. If you come out with nothing, you already know what's going to happen." So she went back into the store with us, with my siblings and myself and my younger siblings, and she stole. But he called the cops on her. They both ended up going to jail though, because it was child endangerment, and we were taken away from them for 3 days. And in that time, they were in jail, like in a holding cell or whatever. And then when we were released back to him, because she was the one that committed the crime.
Okay.
It didn't look like he committed it, but yeah, she was the one that committed the crime. They had to, CPS was in our life for about 3 months when that happened. And he would, coach us and tell us what we could and couldn't say. And in that time, before the last social worker that we came in contact with, in that time I didn't feel comfortable with any of the social workers at all. They didn't really offer me that space, and also it could have just been me feeling like you're not actually going to help anyway, because up until that point nobody actually helped. It was me. I was my savior. But my mom was able to get in contact with a social worker that truly did help. She provided her with housing assistance, with a vehicle, with not with those things, but with the resources to get those things. And when we finally were able to get away from them, we were in contact with Dream Center. They provided us with food for a year, like up to a year after we were gone from him, because he was financially abusing her. He took all of her money. He towed her car, got her car towed, and took every resource away from her. But that social worker, that last one, provided her with all those resources to help us and get us to where we needed to be.
Okay. So shout out to that social worker.
Thank you.
Good job. And you mentioned Dream Center.
Yes.
Now, where is this?
It's in the community. They help tremendously. Like, honestly, and when they were helping us, it wasn't just, okay, here goes food, now leave. It was not like that. There were community outreach programs that they had that we were a part of, me and my siblings, and they provided like food, like good time. Like, it was what do you call, like a field day. I love that. They were so helpful. They actually also helped us, me and my sister, get to our last cheer competition, which was, we won second place. We should have won first, but it's okay. We got second place, but they, because my mom didn't have a vehicle at the time just yet, they drove us to Six Flags so that we can participate in our competition.
The Dream Center?
The Dream Center. Okay. They were very, very, very helpful, and I loved each and every last one of them. Kevin, I still remember you. You were great. He was absolutely great, and it was, I don't know, like, it was one of the first times that I realized that I'm not alone. And I know that's kind of selfish, because I know everybody was affected, but it was the first time that I really felt like I wasn't alone for once. And they really helped without wanting something back from us. I thought like maybe they wanted to like take pictures so you could put it on the website or show like, look, we help Black people. But it wasn't that. They truly was just, they were a community outreach, but they were genuine. Like, their motive was not negative. It was not a negative motive at all. And it was relieving. Okay.
You appreciated Dream Center?
Yeah,
and
100%.
Is that in the Los Angeles County areas?
Yes, Los Angeles. They are in other states though, which they told us. I just don't remember what other states they were in, because I was worried about me, about us. But they were in Los Angeles. They are in Los Angeles, and they still help many and plenty of people. And I thankfully am in a different space in my life where I don't have to reach out to them for assistance, but they are still here and they're willing to help anyone in need.
Okay, that's good to know. That seems like a good resource
it is
out there in the community. And so At this point, when Dream Center is involved and CPS and the social worker who gave your mom all these
Yeah.
resources, at that point, did your mom already know what was happening? Had you already
No,
told her what was
no.
happening?
My mom actually didn't know what was going on, officially until I was 16 years old, and this was around when I was 13, 12, 13.
Okay.
She didn't know. I didn't tell her because I didn't want to add more to her plate. I didn't think that it was fair for me to add more of what she was going through. She was getting beat by him. She was getting verbally abused by him. She was getting raped by him as well. I just didn't want to add more. Um, and that's the thing that like a lot of people say that my mom should have, she could
Okay.
have, she would have, she whatever. I would have done this if this was my kid,
Yeah.
but she did the best that she could with what she had, with the
Okay.
knowledge that she had. Even when we finally got away, it wasn't just because she wanted to get away. Got she was able to get us away from him for our sake.
Yeah.
I know, and this might sound bad to other people, but just younger me looking at her, I just felt like she loved us enough to get away. And that's what I really love about my mom. Like everyone, it wants me to hate her so bad, and everyone wants it doesn't understand. Like how could you forgive her? How couldn't I? Like she did everything that she possibly could do to get us away once she realized her relationship was affecting us. And I will always commend her for that. I will never take that away from her. And it wasn't just I wasn't just automatically forgiving either.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, of course, like I understand everything you've gone through because I'm going through it too. Like I get it. But when I was like 19 to 21, I was not that great to her and I was not that graceful towards her. At that age, I felt like I kind of knew it all. And
Okay.
while I was in a bad relationship, I just wasn't someone that was hitting me or anything. And I started to judge her because I felt like, well, if I'm able to not get in a bad relationship, how were you not able to do that? And even saying that right now, I feel bad because different circumstances, of course.
Yeah.
But that's just how I felt, and that's how I was processing it. And this was also my first, like, kind of small introduction into why I wanted to get into therapy and why I wanted to, like, do some inner work because now I'm mad at the
Absolutely.
whole world because of what I went through. But in a sense, it wasn't fair that I was mostly mad at her. And I was taking that anger out on her when and now looking back, she didn't deserve that. She did the best that she could with the knowledge that she had, and like I'm doing the best that I can right now
Yeah.
with the knowledge that
Yeah.
I have. And I wish that I'm a little bit glad that I did go through it at that age because like now we've been able to move forward and our relationship is much stronger.
Yeah.
But at that time I was just so mad, and it wasn't just at her, but it was like mostly at her because
Yeah.
I was judging her like everyone is judging her right now. And I give you guys that grace. I understand why you guys would have that because you guys are outsiders looking in. But me knowing what I know and also not knowing what I don't know because I still don't know the evil things that he did because he is an evil person. Um, I wish that you guys could see her for who she is because she's a strong person. And at like looking back now, I realized that maybe she just didn't love herself enough to get away, but she 100% loved us enough to get away. And I fault myself sometimes for not speaking up earlier because I'm sure if I would have spoke up, she would have got us out. And I didn't even speak up. I didn't speak up. I didn't. She didn't know until I was 16, and she got us away before
Wow.
then.
That
So
was a long time that you've had to carry that burden.
yeah,
But it seems as if you also, although it was a burden for you, it seems as if you thought it was a protection from mom and
yeah,
the rest of your siblings.
yeah. I didn't. I don't think it's fair what I went through at all. But I do feel like I'm glad that it was me
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard to to deal with it right now, of course. But I wouldn't be able to really function if I didn't know, like, if it was one of my siblings that went through what I went through.
Okay.
And then that's me. I'm their sibling. I'm not their mom. I didn't give birth to them. So then that's when I bring my mom in again. I'm her kid, and it actually did happen to me. So I can only imagine how she's faulting herself, like I'm faulting myself for my siblings. That's a
Okay.
different kind of love. It's a different kind of effect, and I just, I don't know. Hate her if you guys want to, but I'm not hating her.
Yeah.
I don't hate her.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you have a different picture of your mom
Yeah.
that the world will have of your mom, because the world, you know, they only most of the people only heard
No.
what you said
Yeah.
from that
And I
story
feel
you
bad about
posted.
that too, a little, because I feel like I kind of painted her in a bad light because I didn't speak about where she was or what she was going through either. All they hear is she was working all the time, so they are like, "Oh, she's choosing work over you guys." No, she had no money. So even like I said, he was financially abusing her. When he had a bank account,
Yeah.
he didn't allow her to open up a bank account of her own.
Okay.
When anytime she went out of the house, he had to be with her, so there was no space or time for her to go open a bank account for herself. There was one time where she was able to successfully open a bank account for herself. He got the mail, the little update, because he's the only one that could go to the mailbox.
Oh,
Got it, read it, saw that she has a bank account, and he beat her. And I don't know what happened behind closed doors that night. I'll just assume the worst, because I know when I got in trouble, I got raped, so I assume he probably did the same thing to her, and she had to close her bank account. She had no access to the money that she was working for day in and day out, but the money that she was able to get away, like take away, she asked for checks. She tried different ways to go around his abuse, but it was nearly impossible. Not even nearly, it was impossible.
And I keep hearing you say, you know what, mom did what she could. She did the best with what she had.
Yeah.
So, and I know that you also did say that mom was abused herself.
Yeah.
And like, you know more about mom than we do. And so, what do you know about mom being abused?
Yeah, so my grandparents were Jehovah's Witness, and they were married young. My grandma was probably 16 when they got married. My grandpa was 20 years old. And they had this ideology of husband and wife together until death do y'all part. Once my mom and her ex-husband were married, it was like a covenant. Like there was no separation at all, and they used that as a way of like shaming her and making her feel like you need to stay with him. So I know she felt a lot of shame in wanting to leave him for herself.
Okay.
And anytime, like the first time that he actually did hit her, she told my grandparents, her parents, and said, he hit me. And my grandma asked her, well, what did you do? Not call the police, not anything. She says, what did you do? And like that leaves her to feel like, well, like, could I have prevented it? Could I have done anything? And she didn't immediately go back to him. She got away from him. She went away, and she's talking to her parents, just speaking to her parents, because that's what someone does. That's her parents. And they got her location and they gave it to him, and he used that to go find her. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. I didn't want to do that to you. I didn't want to do this. And that was the beginning of the cycle. That's what abusers do. They get you. They love bomb you. They do everything to make you feel like, oh my gosh, like they're amazing, wonderful, beautiful, and they hurt you. And then you go away and they do everything to get you back, and once they have your trust again, they go through the same thing again over and over. And my grandparents did not help the situation at all. Religiously, they're saying, well, you need to stay with your husband because it just makes the most sense for you to stay with him. And they're married for 36 years at that time, and the only thing that she knows is I need to stay with my husband.
Yeah.
This is everyone around me is telling me to stay with him, so I'm gonna stay with him. But things change when you have kids, And I feel like if I would have spoke up earlier, she would have left earlier. And I feel bad not speaking up because a lot of, like all of us, her, my siblings, and myself wouldn't have went through everything that we went through if I would have spoke up earlier, but I just didn't know. I was a kid.
And you know what? It's good to say, I just didn't know. I just didn't know what would have happened. Would it have made it better if I spoke up earlier?
Or worse.
Or
Because then
worse?
he'll probably lash out. Because there were times, I do remember when I was in middle school, before he separated all of my siblings and myself in different schools, I did try to tell my counselor. And her first thing that she says, "Really? I don't think he would do that." And that sentence just, it honestly, it just made me shut down.
Your school counselor?
Yeah, I didn't. I was like like what we touched on earlier. You're saying like you tell yourself that, is this even real? As soon as she said that, it made me question everything, and I was like, so I guess it is normal. I guess it is normal that I'm a side chick to my mom's husband. That's normal. Then so as soon as she said that, I was like, I guess he's not. It's not that bad. It could be worse. Maybe he could be. I don't know. Maybe I could have a black eye right now instead of a bruised back or something. But like, it wasn't just me always submitting and being like weak. I don't know, everyone always says that it wasn't weakness or whatever, but what else can I look at it as when I didn't speak up?
You look at it as weakness.
Yeah.
Well, again, Liz, you were 10, 11, 12, 13. Weakness. Like, I know it's easy for others to just point fingers and say, and sometimes people will say, no, you won't weak. But I just want to validate for you that was not weakness. That was someone taking advantage of a child. You were a child. And I want you to, through the work that you'll be doing with your therapist, hopefully you would be able to go back to that little girl and give yourself grace. Forgive yourself for the things that happened to you that you did not choose for yourself, that you had no control of. Can I just check in with you right now?
Yeah.
Need a break?
No, I'm
you're doing
fine.
okay?
No.
Yeah.
Like that's sometimes I separate myself. I don't see me in younger me because, like I said, like I waited to be older so I could be strong, and then when I got older, I realized it just doesn't come out of nowhere. You don't just snap your finger and now you're strong. Even sometimes now I still feel weak, but.
And that's going to be a part of their struggle. That's all a part of healing from trauma. And I want to repeat this because I want to say it out loud for you to hear it. I waited until I was older to be stronger. Your mind telling you, when I'm older, I'll be stronger and it will all go away. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that the reality?
Not even close.
What's the reality?
I don't know. I guess I'm just as strong as I'll allow myself to be.
Okay. But now that you're older, do you feel stronger? Do you feel like you told yourself, I wait until I'm older to be stronger? You're older now. Do you feel like that strong Liz always?
Against him, for sure.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that if I ever got the opportunity to be face to face with him again, I would not cower. I would not be who he remembers at all. But facing other things, no. I still feel naive and gullible and weak.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't like that word, but I do feel like that because he took a very big portion of my life away from me, And I think right now I'm barely able to really explore dating, to really explore sexually, to really explore a lot of things because I was so stunted that I didn't even realize it. Like this last year is the most adventurous that I've ever been in my life because of my best friend. Thank God to her. But he took like so much away from me that I didn't even realize how much I was missing out on because I was still in survival mode. And sometimes I realize that I still am, but I can enjoy like things now. I can enjoy going outside and like hanging out with my friends. And I know like everyone has, like, a lot of people have a negative connotation with people like going to the club and stuff. I did not go to the club for the first time until I was like 26. And I know that's not like a milestone or anything, but I couldn't really be in loud places because or be where somebody is behind me because that's what he took away from me, my comfortability, my ability to just talk to people. I can't even like hold eye can't contact. I can't talk to people for real like until these last few years cuz he made me so small. And I still look at myself like that too, and I hate it because I don't want his ideologies to
Yeah.
keep me, I don't know, going.
Okay.
But it does.
Yeah.
I was like that was a big portion of my life for real.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get scared that I'm really never gonna have a normal life because of like of how my life started. And I don't even want to give him that much like control or whatever because everyone always says that. Don't give him that much control over your life. He controlled a really big portion of my life. I don't know how I can't give that to him. He took it and it's his, and he gets to have that under his belt. And all that I have is that I don't even know when somebody actually likes me. I don't even know if I actually like somebody for real or if it's an infatuation because they showed a slight like or something like somebody doing normal shit. Like I don't even know what's normal and what's not. I'm barely learning right now. 27 years old, and that happened when I was 12, 13. And I'm barely able to regain me. And I don't think people realize how much it actually affects you and how much you work so hard to get away from that. Like people abuse alcohol, people abuse drugs, people do so many things to try to make everything quiet in our head. And everybody think, oh, it's not that hard. It happened when you were so younger. You were young and just what? Like just what? For real. Because when you really gotta sit down and face all of it, it's not just nothing. It's so complex. Nobody ever wants to realize how complex it is. And
Take it to
you really I gotta live with this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's not fair. And I wish I could go back and change so many things, but I can't. I just know that I got the rest of my life with it.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you would like to say to that person if you had that opportunity? What would you say?
You're pathetic, and I hope nothing goes good for you for the rest of your life.
Okay. What would the younger you, that little girl, 10, 11, 12, 13 say to your mom?
Help me. Cause like save me.
Mm.
That's all I want. Even now, like to this day, whenever I get sick, whenever I get hurt or anything, I always fantasize about somebody actually coming to get me and helping me. And, if I'm sick, giving me medicine and
Yeah.
everything. But I get sick, I get hurt. Nobody knows until I'm healed because I know nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's. I save me.
Okay. What would your 27-year-old self say to your mom now?
Thank you. Because even when she didn't know for sure, she still, she did what I fantasized about for real. Fantasized about now. She did save me. And granted, shit already happened, whatever.
Yeah.
But she did save me.
And that's a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah, for sure. I'm grateful for everything, for waking up, even if I don't feel like getting up, for having a car I could get back and forth place, for being able to think about when I want to take a shower. I know that's small, but at one point I wasn't able to do that. He took that away from me too. We had to take a shower at specific times. We had to eat at a specific time or couldn't eat because he would use that to hurt us. I'm grateful for I'm able to move every body part, do my own hair. I got all my I'm grateful for a lot in my life. And even though it might seem so small to other people, it's huge for me. Like, even these are not my shoes, these are my mom's shoes. I'm grateful that we got the same shoe size. Go in her closet. Like, I'm grateful for all of my siblings. I'm grateful for all of my friends. My mom did end up in another relationship. I did not trust that man at all at first. But I call him my dad to this day. And I'm so grateful for him because, man, he did not have to do a lot of what he's done. And he has, and he's helped her. And he helped me, like, a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just feel like I don't have time to hate anybody but him. I really only hate her ex-husband. I don't hate nobody else. I don't care what they do to me. I probably won't have him in my life no more, but I don't care what anyone else does to me for the rest of my life. I can't hate nobody but him. I'm just grateful that I'm able to tell my story. And I can still talk. I can still write, walk, dance, drive. I could do so much in my life. And as soon as something good happens in my life, all I do is spit on his fucking name because he did everything to break me, and I'm still here.
You're still here. Do I need to say it again? You're still here. And you are not only telling the story or just your story. You're telling the story of so many people who feel as if they were silenced. So many people who are not able to speak, not able to come on a podcast and show, be in that vulnerable moment and just talk about the things that are so painful for you. I am very grateful for you. I am very grateful that you trusted me to appear on this podcast with me and tell the world about your story. And what you have shown today is you have shown a clear psychological, it's just like you've shown the cycle, you've explained it, of abuse. You've shown the raw emotions of what trauma looks like.
Yeah.
You've shown the difficulties of healing from trauma that happened as a child. We say, oh, you bringing all this baggage into your relationship in your life, and you have shown how that worked. Because sometimes we feel as if, you know what, that happened in the past. You should leave it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to take you out of the past. No,
Perfect.
I'm not telling you. The difference is I'm not asking you to just leave it in the past. Because as a psychotherapist, I know the work you're going to have to put in to help you heal from that. And you have the rest of your life to go through. And I want you to know that. Take a deep breath. You're going to be okay.
Promise? I'm not crazy, right?
Let me validate for you. You're not crazy. All the stuff you said happened to you, that's your story. That's yours to hold on to. And I know maybe some would see the podcast and wonder, well, she's a therapist. Why is she allowing her to cry? Why isn't she saying, interjecting? This is not my time to do that.
Yeah.
This is your time to this is your safe space. This is your time to be like, you know what? I can let my guards down. I trust this space, and I just want to tell my story, and I just want to show the impact. That's why it's not for me to interject and for me to try to fix anything right now.
Yeah.
I'm not here to fix it. I cannot fix it. I can help you work through it, but I can't fix it for you. And like you say, you're the one who have to do that work, and you've been doing that work, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
And you have an idea of the hard work it's going to take to get through that, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible to heal from that trauma, and this is what healing is not linear
At all.
It's you're gonna, like I said, it's gonna be like this some days like you just explained. Well, now I can think about when I want to take a shower, not when someone else say I need to take a shower. Know that, feeling that freeness and that power that you have taken back, that you can even take a shower when you want to take a shower. Those little things, that's what healing looks like. It's not linear at all. Don't rush yourself, and don't allow anyone to rush you through that. You know what you need.
Yeah.
Okay? So let me take you out of the past. We've covered a lot, so much. So I want to challenge you right now. Look around this room, and I want you to name 5 things you can see. Don't tell my business, though. Okay? If you see something,
Should I keep it in my mind or say it out loud?
No, just I want you to say it out loud,
Okay.
but don't tell my business.
Okay.
What you see here, stay here, okay? And go ahead.
Okay, that tree, I like that green. It's cute. It's nice. The plant,
Okay.
I mean.
Okay.
The TV, the guitar, I don't know, the couch.
Okay.
And that I don't really like that color orange.
You like that
I'm
one?
not gonna lie, but yeah.
You know what? You want to go lay on it and talk to me some more then?
No.
Okay. All right. How about, what do you hear? Can you name like 4 things you can hear, if you can hear that much?
I can't hear too much, like the
Blah, 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 blah.
the cars going by.
Uh-huh.
The little feedback. I hear feedback from that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I hear birds? A little in that.
Okay. What can you physically feel? Tell me 3 things physically
I
feel.
feel my feet in my shoes.
Feet in your
100%.
shoes.
I feel like grounded.
You're grounded. You're not floating up
yeah,
here.
no.
You're down
Not
here
right
grounded. Okay.
I feel it feels like what mat feels
you like that,
but I
don't
like
you?
this. Yeah, it feels good. I love the way these pillows feel.
Okay.
And then the napkin in my hand,
The napkin in your hand. Why you have that napkin in your hand?
because I was like putting the
Okay. Let me see. Can you smell anything? You better say yeah.
Yeah.
You should be smelling
It
my
smells
perfume.
fresh.
It's
Yeah.
expensive.
I was gonna ask you what you
Oh,
had on
yeah.
earlier.
All right.
And
So
I was like, is that
we
weird?
got that.
But
You
I
smell,
do smell
you
like it.
smell me, right?
But it
Okay.
smells
all
really
right,
fresh
yeah.
in here, though. Like
Okay.
open. It smells
Okay.
open.
So you
yeah.
smell my perfume and
Yeah.
you smell freshness. Okay, that's good. And is there anything at all you would like to say before we wrap up?
Just thank you for this open space and like the comfortability for real. And I know there was a lot of tears shed, but like I'm not just like a sad person. I feel complete in all my emotions, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that I was able to share it.
Yeah. And you're an awesome person, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I got to showcase that for you. Show
Thank you.
them how awesome you are. And we'll have much more times to show how awesome you are. And like I said earlier, this episode I sponsored by this book right here.
Beautiful.
Let Love Be Love, Love After Sexual Trauma. And I know that once you've been through such an ordeal, such violation of your body, it can be very difficult for you to even, like you explained, believe that this love is genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to present this book to you.
Thank you.
This is for you.
Thank you.
I want you to, it's raw. It's
Yeah.
me. Now, don't start looking at me like, oh, she was doing that.
No.
Don't start looking. Just kidding. But it's raw. And it's honest. And even as a psychotherapist, even as a lawyer, people may think that, oh, it's only people who are not educated or people who are drinking or people who are doing all these not so good things that these things happen to. And that's not the truth. Being a therapist, being a lawyer, does not shield me from anything at all that you or anyone else may experience, including abuse and violation of your body. So read it with an open mind, and I hope
shall.
it would, help you through just your healing process. Okay.
Hopefully.
And thank
Fingers
you.
crossed.
Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank you all for sitting in here through this difficult time, through this. I know it was probably an emotional roller coaster for many of you, and I appreciate you hanging in there. And I know it probably evoked some emotions for some people, and I the process is tough. It's hard, but there Liz unfolded so much for us. She gave us such a good view of what it looks like to be a survivor of sexual violence and domestic violence. And also she's an adult now, and CPS was already involved and all of that stuff, so it doesn't kick in my mandatory reporting duties, and I went over that with her. But also she gave a look at what child abuse looked like. And even as moms, as parents, we want to protect our kids. We think that this person won't hurt our kids, but this child was seriously believing she's a side chick to her mother's husband. A side chick, that's deep. And so I know she made that post on social media, and she felt a bit uncomfortable after because of the feedback she got that was pointed towards her mom. But she gave a very good, vivid, it was vivid, of the struggle that even parents have to deal with. When a person has gone through their own abuse and is going through their own abuse, we can sit back and judge all we want, but we don't know what that person is dealing with. We can sit back and say, well, you should have, you could have, why didn't you? All these questions that come at you, but we don't know what that person have to work with. We don't even know if that person understand that, hey, that's not okay. That's and not trusting the community, the police, the CPS, the other resources, the people in the community who are supposed to be there to help in these ways. Not trusting adds a little bit more to it. So I ask you, give grace. Give grace. You don't have to understand it, because again, it's not your story. but just show some empathy. Have just, it's like, oh, well, I wouldn't do that, but you see, it can happen. And it does happen, even in the homes that are surrounding us, even when we don't even think about that that's happening. And a child, now she's a young woman, a young adult, and she is explaining, hey, this is what it looked like when I was a child. This is what it felt like, and this is where I'm at now. I thank you all for hanging in there with us and seeing the true picture of sexual trauma and how that can impact you throughout your world, throughout the rest of your life. So if you like what you heard, viewed here today, if you want to hear more from us, if you want to join us on more, again, this is where psychology meets law and healing begins. If you want more, subscribe, share, comment, like, whatever. Share with someone you may know who has gone through something similar to what Liz has gone through. And hopefully that would be a resource. That would be bring some peace. That would bring, some hope to someone. Again, I am Nashiba. And thank you for joining us for another episode of All That with Dr. B. Join us next time for another episode. Bye now.